G'day guys. There's been a few updates since the last time we covered the custom build of Android for the R36S, so today I thought we would take a look at what's new and try out a few more apps and games on it. One of the main things they've added since we've last covered this is an Easyroms partition that we can access on our Windows PC. This makes copying apps and games over way easier. We're over on our Windows 11 PC now, and we've just inserted the SD card from our R36S. And you can see here in Windows Disk Management, it shows up as Disk 1 for me. You've got the standard 512MB boot partition, very similar to ArcOS. 2 Linux partitions, or at least partitions that we cannot access in Windows. And finally, a new Easyroms partition. This did automatically expand to fill the rest of my SD card. In Windows Explorer, here it is here, if we open it up, you've got all of the folders that Android automatically generates. You can copy your files over to pretty much any folder in here, but I ended up just putting everything in the downloads folder. So here's just a bunch of apps and games that we'll be testing today. I really love this new Easyroms partition, since previously we either had to use a USB flash drive or a second SD card in slot 2 to copy apps and games over. This is really going to help out a lot. We're back on our R36S now, and I've already installed and set up Android. The process was pretty much the same as my last video covering this, only it now automatically expands the Easyroms partition. You don't have to do anything during that, but it does mention it on the screen. I'll zoom in to make it a little bit easier to see. There we go. We'll start by opening Files and taking a look at our new Easyroms partition. So by default, it opens the internal Android partition and not the Easyroms one. So if we go down to download, there's only one file in there that I've already copied over, but none of the files that we saw earlier on Windows. To access the Easyroms partition, we just want to press the right joystick in to enable mouse mode and use the D-pad to go up to the top left. Press the 3 lines, press the right joystick in once more to disable mouse mode, and we'll just press down on the D-pad a whole bunch. At the very bottom, you should see Easyroms. Once again, we'll enable mouse mode, go all the way down, make sure our cursor is hovering over Easyroms, and just press R1 to click. And finally, we'll disable mouse mode once more and use the D-pad to navigate. So if we go to download now, we can see all of our files that we copied. Perfect. To manually install an APK you've copied over, you just want to select it in Files. So for example, we'll do this one here, Limbo. Just press A on it. It should ask if you want to continue. Since it is risky, just press A. It'll then ask if you want to install the actual app. Just press right once to highlight install and press A. I have already installed it, so I won't install it again, but that's pretty much it. We'll close out of Files by pressing Function, which takes us back to the launcher. And I think we'll start with Bully. This is a large game. It's around 3 gig, and I'm using Bully Anniversary Edition, version 1.4.299. It mentions it is technically working on the wiki, so it'll be interesting to see how well it actually plays. We'll just open it up. There we go, so we're on the Rockstar screen. Unfortunately, our gamepad isn't detected, so we have to press the right joystick in once more to bring up the mouse, and just move the cursor over to skip, and press R1. I'll disable the mouse once more. So we've got a loading screen. It looks like A and B actually works, since we were able to skip that little animation. We've got another animation now. I'll press A, so A skipped it. It's interesting that our D-pad and joysticks didn't actually work on the login screen. You can see it's a little bit laggy now while it loads. It's also worth mentioning this did take quite a while to install, maybe around 5 or 6 minutes. Most of that time was spent staging the app, so you just have to be patient. So it looks like we're in another cutscene. It's extremely low quality, very pixelated. I might press A once more to skip. That didn't work. B maybe? That didn't actually skip it. There we go. It is very laggy. We've had a black screen for about 15-20 seconds now. Hopefully it comes back. There we go. It looks like we're finally in the game. Extremely pixelated. This isn't from my camera. It really looks this bad in real life. It does seem to be running really slowly. And unfortunately my joystick... Oh no, they do work. I am running in a circle. It is incredibly slow though. So I've stopped pressing everything and it has locked up. We'll just give it a second. I'm not pressing anything still. I'm guessing it is just lag. It's still running in a circle. This isn't me. Hopefully it does stop eventually. Screen's gone black. It looks like it might have crashed. Yeah, it did crash. I would say while it technically loaded, it was extremely slow. So even if it didn't crash, I wouldn't say this is playable at all. Still pretty impressive though. Next up, we'll try an easier to run game, Balatro. If I can get my D-pad working, there we go. This one is available on Portmaster, so you don't have to run Android just to play it. But we'll try it anyway. Looks like it's loading. So the writing is incredibly small, but it says the device is offline. We'll go continue, if we can. There we go. If I can select it, there we go. So it seems to be playing so far. We're on the main menu, fairly responsive. We'll go play. This is my first time playing this. Apparently it's a lot of fun though. I guess we'll just mash A until we get into the game. I'm not too sure how to play. Just select some cards. That didn't seem to be a good move. Try the 2 9s. The cards are really, really hard to see in real life. This seems perfectly playable, although everything is really small. Might pick 7, 7. I don't think this is my type of game, but it does seem to work perfectly. Although as mentioned, there is a Portmaster port, so you could always play this on ArcOS. We'll press home to quit out. It's a little bit slow exiting, maybe a 5 or 6 second delay, but it looks like we are back to the launcher. I think next we'll try Terraria. This one does not have a Portmaster port, so this may be the only way you can actually play it. So far it seems good. So the main menu's loaded. The first issue is our D-pad doesn't actually work, nor do any of the buttons. We can toggle the mouse on, so press the right joystick in. Now the issue is, the mouse cursor doesn't move by itself. You do have to continuously tap R2 while moving the mouse cursor. So there's the mouse cursor there. If I move the D-pad, nothing at all is happening. But if I press R2, it seems to queue up the last button I pressed. So pressing it now does nothing, but if I press left on the D-pad, let go, and tap R2 again, you can see it jumps slightly. So you do have to hold the D-pad and continuously press R2. Not too sure where it's gone. There it is there. So it is quite tedious. There we go. Go up a whole bunch, up to single player, and finally single player. And just press R1 to toggle it. So I've already created a player and generated a world. Go down to play, a bit too far. And here's the world here. When I generated the world, it did take around 20 minutes to actually generate. It didn't hang at all. It just took forever. So we'll just go play on the world and we'll put it down. So it's loading quite quickly, which is good. And we're in the actual game. It only took around 20 seconds to load, so that's not bad at all. If I disable mouse mode again, so press the right joystick in, unfortunately none of the buttons actually work. So I can't move around, I can't jump, can't do anything. I have tried going into the settings, so using the mouse, toggle it back on, press R2 a whole bunch. Here we go, almost there. So go up to settings, go all the way back right. It's extremely tedious. I have no idea why it does this. I guess I could have used a USB mouse. There we go, settings, and all the way up to input, this one here. It says primary input. If I go down to it, it doesn't detect our gamepad. The two options are automatic or touch. And if I go back up, a bit too far, and go across to gamepad, I've tried setting it up here as well, but unfortunately it just didn't detect it. I might be doing something wrong, so if you know how to fix this, let me know down in the comments below, just to help out others as well. Although it looks like it will play fine, I can't actually get anything to move. We'll quit out of this one, just press the function button. The next one I want to try is JoiPlay. This should let us play RPG Maker games as well as old Flash games. So we'll try that out. It's worth mentioning, I had to download JoiPlay itself as well as the RPG plugin and the Ruffle plugin for Flash games. Once I downloaded and installed all three of those apps, I also needed to download the RPG Maker XP runtimes so I could play RPG Maker XP games. It does talk you through doing that when you first open it, but if there's any interest, I could make a full standalone video on how to get this working with RPG Maker games. So our D-pad works in here, but to actually add the games, I had to toggle mouse mode and go all the way to the top. If I can find our cursor, there we go. The cursor was hidden for some reason. So we go up to the top, go to plus, and go to add game. Then you disable the mouse, so press it in again, use the D-pad to go across to choose. I copied everything to our Easyroms partition, which on here is classified as external storage. So you want to go up, go to back, go down to external, and go down to download. So there's all the Flash games there, and there should also be a folder. There it is, Nightblade Howling of Kerberos. This is just the free RPG Maker XP demo game available on the RPG Maker site. So to add the game, you would just select the folder. Again, there's a folder inside. Go all the way down to the exe. So game.exe, just select that and go across to choose. That's pretty much it. I have already done it, so I won't do it again. I'll go to cancel, and it'll add everything else itself. So here it is here. We'll press A on it, and it hopefully should run. And it loaded pretty much straight away. So our gamepad does work, thankfully. And you can also get rid of the on-screen buttons. So press the right joystick in to enable mouse mode, move the cursor down to the little bottom arrow, this one here, and just press R1 to click, and it's gone. Make sure to disable mouse mode again. There's quite a long intro cutscene, so we'll go to load game instead. And you do have to press select. So that's an interesting key map, but it does work. Now we'll go file 1, press select, and we're in the game. So we're in a battle. Again, select is the main button. We'll just spam it a whole bunch. But yeah, it does seem to work fine. Pressing A brings up the menu. You can also save on here. So let's go down to save, press select, and file 1, press select again. So again, select's the main button that does everything. As I mentioned, there was quite a few cutscenes. None of them skippable, but they all ran full speed with no lag, so that was pretty good. There's also sound, so no issues here. This is pretty cool to be able to play RPG Maker games. We'll quit out of it, just press the home button, and we'll go back into JoiPlay once more. So I did try a few Flash games. Unfortunately, none of them work. I added them the exact same way, but they don't actually load. So we'll go across to Bejeweled, open it up, we get the black screen, and it says PopCap, but unfortunately that's as far as it gets. It does hang here. All of the other Flash games I tried don't actually load and just stay on a black screen. I'm not too sure if this is an issue with the R36S or just that the Flash games aren't compatible with JoiPlay. It's been about 2 minutes and it is still on this loading screen. I'll press all the buttons, but none of them actually do anything. We'll quit out of this once more, pressing the function button. And there's one more thing I want to try, and that is LimboX86. This is an x86 emulator, and I believe it does use QEMU in the background, so pretty much any QEMU compatible hard drive image should work in it. I do have to enable mouse mode. We'll go up to the top right where it says none. We'll click there. I've already created a new machine called XP, so we'll go to that one. Disable mouse mode, press down. So I've set it to Pentium 2, and I'm just using a pre-built Windows XP image I found on archive.org. So nothing fancy. Go back to the top, mouse mode again, go across to play. So we've got the little loading bar. It's a good sign. It's quite slow. It looks like it's hung. There we go. It's still going. Very, very slow though. And then we've got the Windows XP loading screen slowly fading in. There we go. It looks like it is still loading. That's a good sign as well. So it's quite laggy, but it is still loading. There we go. Got a black screen now. Still got a black screen. Got a mouse cursor. Unfortunately, this is as far as it gets. I can toggle my mouse cursor on as well and use the D-pad to move it. And then if I click, the emulated mouse cursor does seem to move with it. Looks like it's relative or it's not scaled correctly. So although it looks like it hasn't fully hung, this is as far as it gets. When I was testing this earlier in the day, I left it on for around 40 minutes on this screen while it was plugged in charging, just for safety, and it didn't go past this. I'm sure with a few tweaks to the settings, we might be able to get it to load to the desktop, but it doesn't look like it's going to work for us today. Overall, it's awesome that the Android project for R36S is still being developed, and I do love the new Easyroms Partition. As I mentioned, it just makes getting apps and games over to the SD card way easier. While Bully technically loaded, it was not playable and it did crash, which is way too slow. Balatro seemed to work perfectly fine, although everything was quite small, probably a bit too small for me. But as mentioned, this is available on Portmaster as well, so you could play it using ArcOS. Terraria did take ages generating a world, around 20 minutes, but once it was generated, the world itself loaded pretty quickly, and everything seemed to work fine except our gamepad. We couldn't actually do anything. Using the mouse was extremely frustrating as well, since you did have to continuously tap R2 to get the cursor to move, only in very small increments. JoiPlay was an impressive one. It did let us play our RPG Maker XP demo game, and it ran full speed with sound, no stutters whatsoever, although I wasn't able to get it to run any of my Flash games. As I mentioned, getting JoiPlay set up and working wasn't too difficult, but you did have to install a few companion apps, so this one down here, RPG Maker and Ruffle plugin. They are all available on the JoiPlay website, so that wasn't too bad. But if you want to play RPG Maker games, you do also need to manually download the RPG Maker runtimes from the RPG Maker site. So for me, I was trying an RPG Maker XP game, so I had to download the RPG Maker XP runtime specifically. LimboX86 was quite interesting. I do want to look into this a bit further. I think it should be possible to get to a Windows XP desktop, which I think would be pretty cool. I will be keeping my eye on this Android R36S project, and if there's anything you want me to try on it for a future video, let me know down in the comments below. I think that'll do it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.